Hey guys, it's Gus, and I'm going to talk about some stuff I see in the market. Feel free to join me. It's mostly nonsense, but who knows? Weird stuff happens when new mods come, and this game's been waiting a long, long time for a new mod. We haven't had one since Sharandar, and it's been a couple years, and people are ready, and I think we're going to see a flood of people coming back to the game. And if that happens, we're going to get injected with AD and Zen and old items that haven't been in the market forever. And just a whole bunch of weird stuff's going to happen. I'm hoping a lot of those players come back and bring back some of those discontinued items I've been trying to get my hands on, like an Archmage Apprentice. If you have an Unbound one, let me know. I will give you premium amount of AD for it. Um, well, the first thing this has been taking up a lot of my time is I don't know if you guys noticed, but for like the last eight of these events, the Wondrous Bizarre discounts that we have, possibly the week after the new mod drops, if it drops the week prior, this will be huge. And it's always been huge because every time they do this sale, they put the Astro Lockbox in it, but it's not showing in the calendar. If I had to guess or bet, I would bet there will be an Astrolock box. They did this last event too, where they didn't add it until it was a couple weeks away. So they'll probably have an Astrolock box here. Uh, so I don't know if people are buying them, assuming they're going to go up because they're not going to be out for the event. Because it coincides with the trade bar discount, which if you know anything about the Astro lock boxes, I think they're unarguably the best source of comp tokens in the game. But I'll show you. They're selling. I saved these over the last day or two. So this 10 of them sold for 858,000. 10. Oh no, that was in Light and Skill. 830,000 for 10. 830 for 10. 827 for 10. 827K for 10. 827. 828. 826. Uh, 826 for 10, 826 for 10, 826 for 10, 828,000 for 10. Sold 100 for 7.8 mil, 820K for 10, 810K for 10, 830K for 10. You can see the trend. They're selling, and they're selling for an extremely high profit margin. Let me get the calculator up. So if you sell them at 825,000 times zero point 0.9 because the 10% auction house fee, you make 142,000 profit. So 142,000 divided by 600,000. So it's a 23.6% profit, and they're just going up. And a lot of people have been reaching out to me to trade them. I still have a lot left, like 8 or 10,000. I'm trying not to trade them though, because I need the AD because I spent a ton of AD getting them. But we'll see. I just find this fascinating that they're selling so high right now, and I don't know if it's in anticipation of the new mod or if players just need them and there's not a lot of people selling them. I don't know. So we had Cohorts dropped a few weeks ago on PS4, and then they just came out with the key bundle today or yesterday. So Words went back up. Words went back down. We were getting them. They were already up to like 730, 740,000, and they dropped. The market reacted quite quickly. So here's the deal. A lot of people say buy these at this price now and sell them when the new mod comes because people will be buying cohorts. I think there's three arguments against doing that at this price. I still think it's a good gamble. I think it's much riskier though. I'm much happier with 650 or below. When the new mod comes, that's going to be right around the time that Black Friday is coming. So there could be a big sale then. Also, um, we don't know if they're going to come back with the triple cold pack before the new mod comes, which will plummet the prices instantly. So, and the third thing is, I have a ton of cohorts, and I know a few other players who have way more cohorts than me, just hoping that they go up when the new mod comes out. So these are really gamble to buy at this price for investment purposes for resale later on. Now, if you need to upgrade your stuff, this might be a great price to get it at. Uh, these are just so risky right now. And I know every market's different. Like on Xbox with the very, very low wait time for the Zen exchange to work, code words are much easier to get. And I know on PC, with we don't know what the wait is now, but it's going to be less than 11 months, hopefully soon. That causes code words to go much higher than this price. So I just wouldn't play around with these. I think 700K is a good price to buy them for yourself, but for reinvestment, maybe not so much. And then oh, so the other day I did a video on bound cohorts, and let's see if I got any. I This is not in my notes, but I can't believe how big of a mistake I made. So let's see if I got any cohorts in here. This will add another 2 minutes to the video. Sorry guys. Yeah, I made a big mistake. Let's see if I got any code words in here. Shit. I will go to an alt. Oh, there we go. Bound to character. Yes. Okay, so um how much are these rank 4s going for? Cuz I don't want to zone out and come back. Poop. If I do, I'll do it at the end. Okay, I'll buy at this. It's less than that. So you go like this. You go like this. You get it? And I have those on alt, so I'll need to get some of those. But when I made a video showing what to do with the bound cohort, I really messed up. I'll show you how I messed up. I messed up big time. I lost over a million AD. So you don't do the fact. Everybody's thinking, curse burn or poison thorn. I did curse burn. It sold. Poison thorn's a good one, but it's not any of those. It's the companion. Oh, that one is the lowest, but most of them are down here around 3 million. So instead of 2.1, 2.2, make a companion enhancement. And the reason being is this is the most powerful item in the game, I think. What it does is just so good. It's the first thing anybody should probably get to Mythic, right? And a lot of players, I think, will want to be boost their characters to meet the item level requirement to get in the new dungeon. So if so, this should be the very first thing they should increase. This is such a good use of stats. So maybe get this one. So I'm going to use my bound cohorts and probably make a bunch of these for the new mod. So I'm not going to do it. I just bought the rank 4, but I'm not going to do it to keep the video shorter. But that's where I messed up. I should have made that on my last video instead. Uh, I talk about these all the time, but these scroll. Oh wait, these life scrolls have already gone up 30%. These right here, 3,750 each, and these are going to be 3,900 each. They were 3,000 just a month or two ago, and going up only 1,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. I mean, it's a third. I could very much expect. I think everybody who can do this dungeon is going to be doing it, and I think we're going to be going. The economy will be eating through thousands, if not tens of thousands of these the first week, day one. People are just going to go through them like candy. And I think these will get bought up. And if they don't have the Astro Lockbox pumping the economy full of trade bars are kind of, there's a lot less trade bars than there used to be because a lot of people are opening the new lockboxes that don't really have a lot of trade bars. So these, I know I have a ton of these. I know a lot of players have a ton of them, but I just don't know if you take all the players who have a ton of them can still meet the needs of the economy because these might just these could skyrocket. I've seen these in the past go up to 20,000 because if you got a really popular dungeon going on where dying is commonplace, the economy will eat through them and it will go through these 323 listings before you know it, super fast. There's only a couple hundred listings, so keep your eye on that. If you're going to be running this dungeon day one, and if you don't have life scrolls, I would recommend that you get them at this price instead of waiting to buy them when the new dungeon comes out. because I think the bet is that they would go. I would bet that they would go up more than they would go down. Um, I also think anybody doing these right here, check these out. I'm gonna start going through these, and these are all 600 item level artifacts. Every one of these. I'm going until we hit a 1200 item level artifact, and I'm going, I'm going. Oh, there we go. Jewel of the North is the first one. Believe it or not, there's an unlimited supply of these in the game. If you got these, you can keep making them as long as you have unbind tokens and you can upgrade them. There's so many of these in the economy. Uh, the problem is there are enough players that have the resources to meet the needs of the economy. I think when a lot of players, one of the first things they're going to do to make the new item level requirement is upgrade their artifacts to 1200, because times four, that's a 2400 item level increase if they're using all 600 item level artifacts. So 1200 item level artifacts, I'm not saying will go up. I'm not betting on. I didn't buy any of them expecting them to, or else I would have said it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go up. So if you have any and you need AD now, I would probably consider holding on to them. If you can wait a few more weeks, if the new mod comes week 1 of November, and wait, because you notice there's a huge. There we go. Repurposed phylacteries, the next one. We don't have a lot of them on PS4, anyways. The Draconic Essence from Dragonflights, Demogorgon Reach, which is unobtainable right now. There's not a lot of 1200 item level artifacts to buy on PS4, anyways. I don't know about the other platforms. The Teammates Globe, yeah, there's not a lot. So these, I believe, will be in a high demand. And if you're sitting on some, you may make a pretty penny. And if you have a bunch of bound pres wards, I think that would be a good way to turn them into AD by using them to upgrade these artifacts. Uh, so we got a new mount, and we've talked a lot about it on our HR Discord. And I don't know, I don't have a take on this yet. So the deal is Big B's hand is physical damage, not magical damage. So for like the physical damage, the glyphs, the guardian fighters, the rogues, the HRs. Um, Sorry if I forgot anybody. These are arguably best of slot, but the problem is I haven't figured it out yet. Uh, I'm losing an attack using these because you have to wait so long after you cast it. So I don't know if they're actually better, but there might be some animation cancel or something that will make these uh, unarguably best in slot. And if they do, after the new lockbox comes, these could definitely go up in value if everybody's recommending them for the DPS classes. I only have two. I know that doesn't sound like people investing usually buy tons of these. I might not. I don't know if I'm gonna do it yet. This is a. I'd rather get in at like the 1 million price level, 1.1. But these might be a somewhat safe bet. We just don't know how many are in the economy. And remember, before you buy them, you got to look at these because they're not on, they're in these packs as well. So they have them. These are 1.2 mil. Uh, just keep your eye on them. It's something I'm watching and probably gonna have regret, but I just think it's pretty risky. But I think there is definitely they're definitely worth the gamble. Um, so these mythic collars are down to 12 million. They're the Atwells. These are the Atwells that, generally speaking, probably aren't as good for most classes as like the Encounter one. Uh, do I think they'll go up? I do think they go up. I don't think they'll go up high enough to make it worth the risk. Because if you gamble 12 million and you sell for 14 after auction house fees, you just gambled 12 million to make like 400,000. That's a really risky, that's not a big gain. So I don't know. I do know a lot of people will try to get mythics, but going from legendary to mythics on all five of them will only raise your item level 1,000. So these are not going to be the most efficient way to get your item level high enough for the new dungeon. I think there's much cheaper ways, more better ways as well to raise our item level. So this is a last resort, but I do think a lot of returning players are going to bring a lot of resources back into the game, and these could go up because the demand could go up. But if those go up, then we know for certain that these will go up, and they've already gone up. These were down to 60K on PS4, and they're already these ones are 7,500, but they're 80K. They just got listed. 80K. I wouldn't be surprised if these go up even further. And there's only 66 listings. So there may be people sitting on a fortune, like hundreds or thousands of these. But uh, if you get any, and if you needed the AD sell now, I think it might be worth your while to hold on to these until the next mod comes to sell for sure. And then I don't know what's going on with this companion. Yesterday it was 18 million. It's been 18 million for like 5 days, and a whole bunch of people caught on see 18 mil, 18 mil. These ones just got listed. 10 million for Lulu. I don't know. Lulu is a summon companion, and it has a couple very unique powers. I should probably do a quick video on it. One of her powers is when you have Lulu summoned, your health points go up by 5%. The problem is it hits like dog shit. So I don't really know why it's up that high. Maybe it's super rare. I don't know. Um, I have like 10 of them. If somebody really wants one, send me a message. We'll work out a deal. Um, so when I'm gonna be hosting this dungeon or joining people that are gonna be very like-minded. I don't see successful teams. Well, this new dungeon is probably gonna be possible without MC weapons. 100% possible without MC weapons. But day one usually involves a ton of dying and a lot of frustration and throwing your controllers or keyboards. The MC weapons are just any end game hoster knows how good they are for the group and how much they increase the success of the group. Um, so I see most hosters asking for them. I do know there is a ton of players who have not got on the bandwagon yet and gotten them. Um, but I think if people are not getting invited or they're trying to host, nobody will join them because they're not running an MC. They may, and the demand could go up faster than the crafters can craft. So you may want to keep an eye on MC weapons. If you don't have them, I would recommend getting them if they're cheap now for you because their prices more than likely will go up when the next mod comes. And you don't need the Fey ones. You can get the MC3 from Omu and Soshin Shower. They're only 500 item level less on both weapons, so 250 item level each. So eh, unless you can find the Fey really cheap, you might want to get your hands on some MC weapons. And all the crafters out there making MC weapons, they're gonna have a heyday when this comes out. Especially for all you that are making CW weapons. Oh. Um, I don't know if anybody noticed, but the Wondrous Dragons have been dropping steadily for weeks now. The Black Dragon, was easily 2 million, is down to 1.3 million. And these have been listed for quite some time and they're not selling. And I've seen two of these, one listed for 12 million, one listed for 13 million. They sold. Oh yeah, here's one for 13 million. So I think they still have value, but I think the people who are using them, they're keep holding on to them because what if another dragon comes out? And if you're writing in-game content like Tiamat or Crown, you still want it. So they're not necessarily using them for the dragon hunts. They're using them for the trials. And this might be once in the game's lifetime where we don't see anything better than this for dragon hunts. So if you can find them cheap, it's not really for an investment. It's for your own personal use. I'm surprised more people aren't offloading them, to be honest, because there are a lot of them in the game. But I'm really surprised at this 13 million. I saw one the other day for 12 million. Uh, you do your call. I don't know how many people will be doing ancients the first few weeks of this new dungeon as they're trying to get their new mythic rings, though. We'll see. So you see, I'm here in I'm doing an expedition right in Undermountain. And what you do is you go up here and you place your runes. And before I do that, I'm gonna show you. I have a ton of runes. I mean, I got. Oh, poop. Sorry, it's kind of janky. There we go. Let me get. So I have 110, 1,500 of those, 400 of these, 71 of these. I have tons of runes. But there's a bug right now where you can't place these runes. So the biggest item that you can get from these is the Trobriand's conduction cable, and I don't know why, you use this for the music box set, and the music box set is still arguably best in slot for most classes in certain scenarios. Um, I don't want to go into that because I don't want to get into a debate in the comments, but there are situations where music box is still amazing, and you can't get it at all because you can't get the Jobrian's cable. So I don't know how many are left in the economy, but if you do want a music box set, you this might be a low price. Up to you. FYI, I do have like 15 or 20 of them. I might be willing to trade one if you need one, but I'm gonna trade them around this price. Um, uh, But I'm gonna hold on to them because I'm gonna see what's going on. I just think they're such a pain to farm when it is working that I would just like to have them in my inventory. So good on you. Anybody who got knock boxes last December, finally, finally they're going up. And I had a bunch. I got them. The lowest I got them for was 2.5 mil, and they're up to 4.4 mil, which is so weird because if they do bring back the Astro lockbox, we could see it coming back potentially like Black Friday or Christmas. It's a month or two away. So it's crazy how the economy kept just enough for almost the whole year. But they're finally starting to trickle up. And the reason why people they don't want the Knox box, they don't want the Knox Choice Pack. They want what's in those. And those are these. Oh wait, these are these right here. Uh, the Golden Cats, 3.5, 3.5. Uh, yeah, as you see, the after that they're 4 million going up. Uh, these are kind of weird. So I think a lot of players come back. They're gonna want this stuff. So if you find them cheap, you might want to pick them up for investment. If you're planning to sell them now, you might want to hold on to them, but don't hold on too long, because as soon as the Knox box comes down, these things are gonna be. I'm not gonna say worthless, but they're gonna lose so much of their value. Uh, I do know I have a bunch of these that I gambled on. I got them for shit. Some of them 2.5 million actually. Like this one with the red hat. This one. Look at that. But I have a feeling there's a lot of other people that have a bunch and they're just holding on for the new mod. It's going to be a heyday when the new mod comes out. If anybody's, this is their first time playing the market for a new mod, this is going to be fun. And so we don't know what's going to be the next lockbox. But we have a feeling the trend's going to continue. And this lockbox and the previous lockbox both had the Rage of Flames and the Devil's Precision. And the new lockbox, I think, will continue the same suit and have it. And if that's the case, um, everybody's going to be using overloads for the next dungeon. They may not use Rage of Flames. They could use the Drow one. But they're going to use either the Rage or the Devil's, probably. Um, So the question is buy them now and hope the prices go up so you bought them at a more affordable price, or buy them now and hope they're not in the next lockbox. Because if they're in the next lockbox, uh, their prices are going to be impacted immediately. Immediately. So 200K is still pretty good. Before the lockboxes came out with them, these were 800K. Actually, I sold a couple for 999, so basically a million. But there is the current event going on right now with the Hell Pit where you can get 7 of these during the event. But people don't think overloads are that good. The overloads are freaking amazing. If you're a DPS and you put on Devil's Precision and Rage of Flames, you will notice how much the burn changes instantly when you wear these. They're very good. And I know they only last 10 hours, but it's not 10 hours. It's 10 hours of combat time. These have such a high uptime. I mean, you can use these for, 30, 40 runs. And most people aren't doing 30, 40 runs in a day, probably not even in a week. So they last a long time. 200K is really cheap. I don't have any investment into these. I sold, I use all mine and I didn't buy any. And I opened very few of the lock boxes. I think that's, oh, I do have this. So there's going to be, unless something changes, I think there's going to be two companions everybody's going to be using in the new dungeon. They're going to be using, well, it's three, but they're the same. So they're going to be using the succubus, which is 2.9, or the incubus, incu, which is 2.1. They do the exact same thing, they just look different. So don't accidentally buy the succubus when you can save a mil and get the incubus, or they're going to buy Regis, which is my preference. I prefer Regis. I've used both, and I just notice a noticeable difference when I use Regis. So I mentioned these three companions because they do contribute significantly, especially since our damage was reduced significantly when they nerfed the boa. It it indirectly made striker companions stronger because our base damage went down. So even though their base damage didn't go up, it went up in comparison to our base damage, which makes them more useful. So you might want to keep your eye on these. I have a feeling the groups I'm in, the tanks and healers are going to be using these as well. That's how good these striker companions are when everybody's using them. So keep your eye on. I'm not saying buying them at 3.2, but if you don't have one, there's a good chance they will be 5 million plus within the first day of the new dungeon coming up. So, and we don't know how many are in supply out there in the economy. I think there's hundreds of them out there. People bought them for super cheap, and they're waiting for them to hit this mark. So I don't know if we'll hit this mark again because strike lightning usually doesn't strike twice. But the first time the Companion of the Hall came out, yeah, these got up. Some people sold them for 10 mil. I don't think that's going to happen a second time, but I do think they are going to go up over this 3.1 million price. Because people are going to ask everybody to use them. Not necessarily the Regis, but the Succubus, Incubus, Regis. Um, I guess the Yankee is kind of an AoE. It's annoying. Nobody likes pushbacks. Um, oh, ugh. Not this companion. Goodness, what is it called? It's called the God, I hate this companion. It's people pay way too much for it. What is it called? I'm gonna have to go look at the legendary ones and see if there's any legendary. I forget the name of it. I'll know it the second I see it though. Zero, no, it's pseudo. Mystagogue, yeah. This. So the deal is, if you just stand there and don't do a single thing, this companion does a ton of damage. But the problem is, if everybody in the group's attacking, this companion won't get any damage off. It's so bad in a decent group. So I don't recommend this one for AoE. But if your group's learning, it might be a good one to use. I think it also has a slow effect, which could help the group if they're having a hard time on the mobs. But if you're having a hard time on the mobs, imagine how hard of a time you're gonna have on the bosses, right? The mobs are kind of like a pre-boss check, where the mobs should be fairly easy. If the mobs are hard for your group, the boss is gonna be very hard for your group, generally speaking. Well, there you go. If you have any insights or observations, there's no way I got them all. Please list them below and share with the rest of the people who might read the comments. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.